The majority of the cars use diesel or gasoline to work. For a car to function, it relies on a process called internal combustion, where a mixture of gasoline and air is burned inside a cylinder engine. However, this process is extremely harmful for the environment since it releases greenhouse gases and other toxic substances. These emissions contribute to the climate change, global warming, and air pollution, which these negatively affect the environment and the human beings. Transportation is responsible for approximately 80% of the global CO2 emissions. Due to this, we need to make a change and make it with cleaner energy source. As a consequence, we research for 3 cleaner energy sources for vehicles. In this case, we chose electric vehicles use an electric motor powered by a research battery. These batteries are capable of storing large amount of electrical energy, and when the vehicle is turned on, they store energy and is delivered to the electric motor, which is converted to mechanical energy. This technology benefits the environment because it produces zero emission and has much lower carbon footprints. The second alternative involves the use of hydrogen fuel cells. These cells generate electricity through a chemical reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, producing only electricity and water vapor. This electricity creates power to the electricity motor. An advantage of this is that it only creates emission in water vapor. The final option is to use the solar panels, typically installed on the roof of the car, and these panels capture the sunlight and convert it into electricity, which can go either directly to the battery or to the electric motor. This solution takes advantage of a completely renewable source and a natural source.
Then, we have the development of key elements of chemistry applied to the problem situation. And first of all, we have how those galvanic cells work. And basically, galvanic cell converts chemical energy into electrical energy through a spontaneous redox reaction. So it has 2 electrodes. One that is the anode, that lose electrons, and the cathode that gains electrons, and then the electrons flow from the anode to the cathode through an external circuit, and these generate an electrical current, and the solutions are connected by a salt bridge, which allows an ion flow and maintains charge balance. So then we have how those solar cells work. A solar cell basically converts the light energy, like from the sun, the photons, into electrical energy using semiconductors, and typically are from silicon. Then, when the sunlight hits the cell, it excites the electrons in the semiconductor material, and this creates a flow of electrons by separating charge between 2 layers, that is the p type and the n type, that is positive, and the electrons, the negative. And then the p-n junction allows the electrons to flow in one direction and generating electricity in an external circuit. So then we have how those hydrogen fuel work. The fuel converts the chemical energy of hydrogen directly into electricity through an electrochemical reaction with oxygen. And at the same anode, the hydrogen gas is split into protons, and electrons flow through an external circuit. So the protons move through an electrolyte to the cathode, and at the cathode, protons, electrons, and oxygen combine to form water. So this is the 3 ways to make energy: the solar, the hydrogen fuel cell, and the galvanic cell.
For the analysis of the chemistry behavior in the framework of this problem solution, we have the advantages and disadvantages of each of these 3: electricity, hydrogen fuel cells, and solar powered. For the electricity, our main advantage is that it can be produced from clean sources like the wind, sun, and hydro. And as the main disadvantages is that it can cause injuries or even people's death for its hazard or supply interruptions. For the hydrogen fuel cells advantage, we have that it converts fuel to energy with a 65% efficiency. And for its disadvantages, it's pretty much the high production cost because the green hydrogen is obtained from electrolysis, which is very expensive, and that it depends on specific material, in this case the platinum. And in third place, for the solar powered energy source, we have that its main advantage is that its energy is recovered from the sun, so it's pretty much unlimited and it doesn't cost for people worldwide. And its main disadvantage is that on cloudy days or at night, it can be as effective as when there's sun. So with this in mind, the most efficient method in energy production results to be the hydrogen fuel cell with a conversion efficiency of 65%. The most economical in operation is the solar-powered one because of its panels that once it's installed, the light of the sun is actually free. The least pollution in operation is probably the solar-powered because it doesn't emit greenhouse gases and uses natural sunlight. And lastly, the least pollution in manufacturing is electricity from wind or hydropower, as it doesn't require rare materials or producing processes with high energy consumption.
Okay, so now to conclude, I'd like to talk about the impact of different energy sources used to power cars and why it's important to switch to cleaner, more sustainable options. Right now, most cars use fossil fuels, which release harmful gases like CO2. This causes the climate change and air pollution, which harm the environment and the society. Electric cars are a good solution because they produce less pollution, especially when the electricity comes from renewable sources. But we need to make batteries better and easier to recycle. Hydrogen fuel fuels are not an option. They only produce water vapor, making them very clear. However, hydrogen is expensive and there is not enough infrastructure to use it widely yet. The solar energy is also a great choice because even though it depends on sunlight, using polar power with electric cars and hydrogen fuel cells could provide a good solution. To move forward, we need to improve these technologies, better infrastructure, and more government support for clean energy. We also need to teach the people about the benefits of renewable energy. So in conclusion, switching to clean and sustainable energy for transportation is key to fighting climate change and improve air quality, because this change can only happen if governments, business, and people work together. Thank you.